The champagne fountain catches light like diamonds, and I'm standing in the ballroom doorway holding a silver tray when Marcus Ashford crosses the marble floor and extends his hand. "Naomi," he says, his voice carrying across 200 wedding guests. "Would you walk with me?" The room goes silent. Utterly silent. Behind me, the catering manager hisses something sharp. Ahead, his fiancée, radiant in custom Vera Wang, freezes mid-laugh. The orchestra stops playing. Every eye in the Grand Meridian Ballroom turns toward the black woman in the maid's uniform and the billionaire in the Tom Ford tuxedo. I should say no. I should apologize, step back, disappear into the kitchen like I'm supposed to. But I've spent 3 months watching this wedding being planned. 3 months seeing what everyone else refuses to see. 3 months knowing that if I stay quiet this time, someone dies tomorrow. So I set down my tray, and I take his hand. 3 months earlier, the Ashford estate needs 37 staff members to function. I'm number 34, hired to help with the wedding preparations. One of the extra hands brought in for what Architectural Digest is calling the society event of the decade. Marcus Ashford, tech billionaire, 42, self-made. Vivienne Laurent, luxury brand heiress, 38, old money. A merger as much as a marriage, complete with a prenuptial agreement thicker than my employment contract. I arrive on a Tuesday. The estate manager, Mrs. Kowalski, walks me through 14,000 square feet of marble, crystal, and art that costs more than I'll earn in my lifetime. The wedding is in 12 weeks, she explains. 300 guests. Ms. Laurent has very specific requirements. You'll assist primarily with her personal needs, wardrobe coordination, errands, general support. I understand. She can be exacting. Mrs. Kowalski's pause is practiced. Previous assistants found the position challenging. I know about challenging positions. I've held every kind since my brother died. Since the hospital told us his heart condition was manageable. Since the insurance company denied the surgery he needed. Since I held his hand while he waited for an appeal that came 3 days too late. Since I learned that wealth decides who gets saved and who gets managed until they die. I can handle challenging, I tell her. Mrs. Kowalski opens a door to a suite bigger than the apartment Marcus and I shared. Ms. Laurent will brief you herself. Vivienne Laurent reclines on a velvet chaise, scrolling through fabric swatches. She's beautiful in that sculptural way, sharp cheekbones, ice blonde hair, the kind of thinness that comes from discipline and privilege. You're the new girl. She doesn't look up. I need my dress steamed, my supplements organized, and someone to tell the florist that if I see one more suggestion involving peonies, I'm finding a new florist. Yes, ma'am. And don't call me ma'am. It makes me sound old. Her eyes flick to me, assessing. Vivienne is fine. We'll be spending considerable time together. I spend that first week learning her routine. Green juice at 7. Pilates at 8. Dress fittings, menu tastings, vendor meetings. A wedding being orchestrated like a military campaign. Marcus appears occasionally, kind, distracted, clearly uncomfortable with the spectacle. He thanks me by name when I bring him coffee, asks about my day, treats me like a person rather than furniture. Vivienne notices. Don't let Marcus charm you, she says one morning, watching him leave her suite. He does that with everyone. Plays the humble billionaire. It's very effective. There's something in her voice. Something cold. I'm sure he's genuine, I say carefully. No one's genuine at this level, Naomi. Everyone wants something. I think about this while I organize her medications. She has a dozen bottles, supplements, vitamins, prescriptions I don't recognize, all managed by her personal physician, Dr. Chun, who visits twice weekly. Vivienne's health requires careful attention, Dr. Chun tells me during his second visit. She has a complex condition. I've prepared a detailed schedule for her medications. Follow it exactly. What's the condition? That's confidential. Just follow the schedule. The schedule is precise. Green capsule at 7. Blue tablet at noon. White powder in her evening tea. Dr. Chun brings everything personally, pre-filled, labeled only with times. By week 3, I notice Vivienne is getting tired. Irritable. She snaps at vendors, fires the third wedding planner, spends afternoons in bed. I'm fine, she insists when Mrs. Kowalski asks. Wedding stress. It's normal. But I've seen wedding stress. This is different. By week 5, she's forgetting things. Missing appointments. Repeating herself. Her hands shake when she holds her phone. Marcus notices too. Maybe postpone, he suggests gently after she confuses the rehearsal dinner date for the third time. There's no rush, Viv. Don't be ridiculous. Everything's arranged. I'm just tired. You're more than tired. Maybe see a different doctor. Dr. Chen knows my case better than anyone. Her voice sharpens. Stop trying to control everything, Marcus. He backs off, apologizes, looks worried. I keep watching. I notice that Vivienne gets worse after taking her medications, that she's clearest in the mornings before Dr. Chen's visits, that Marcus isn't allowed to attend her medical consultations, patient privacy, Vivienne insists. I notice Dr. Chen and Vivienne have private conversations, that money changes hands, cash, not checks, that once I hear them through the door. After the wedding. We agreed. After. Week 8. Vivienne can barely walk without assistance. She's lost 15 pounds. Her skin looks gray under expensive makeup. Should I call an ambulance? I ask after finding her collapsed in her bathroom. No. She grabs my wrist with surprising strength. No hospitals. Dr. Chen handles everything. You understand? Everything. But you're getting worse. I'm fine. Each word is deliberate. Do your job, Naomi. That's all. I do my job. I also start documenting. Photos of medication bottles. Recordings of Dr. Chen's visits. Notes on Vivienne's symptoms. The pattern that's emerging makes my stomach turn. Because I've seen this before. Different circumstances, but the same trajectory. Someone getting sicker under someone else's care. Someone isolated from outside help. Someone whose suffering benefits someone else. Week 10. I find the insurance documents. They're in Marcus's study. I'm not supposed to be there, but I'm looking for the forest number. The papers are on his desk, marked with sticky notes in his handwriting. A $50 million life insurance policy. On Vivienne. Beneficiary, Marcus Ashford. Taken out 6 months ago, right before the engagement. My hands shake as I photograph the pages. Then I find the second set of documents. Medical records. Vivienne's actual diagnosis from 2 years ago, benign arrhythmia, fully managed with basic beta blockers. Nothing complex. Nothing requiring Dr. Chen's elaborate protocols. And a letter from her actual cardiologist, dated 4 months ago, asking why she'd stopped her appointments. I'm holding the evidence when Marcus walks in. Naomi. Marcus stops in the doorway. Those are private. I know. My voice doesn't shake. Not anymore. I also know Vivienne doesn't have a complex condition, and that you have 50 million reasons for her to die before the wedding. The words hang between us like an accusation. Marcus closes the door, approaches slowly. His face is unreadable. You think I'm trying to kill her. The evidence suggests it. Then you're missing something crucial. He picks up the insurance documents. Look at the signature. I look closer. The policyholder name, Vivienne Laurent. The beneficiary, Marcus Ashford. She took it out, he says. Not me. She insisted on it 6 months ago. Said it was standard for marriages at this level. I thought it was morbid, but her lawyers drafted everything. My certainty waivers. The medical records? I ask. I found those last week. Started questioning why she needs such intensive treatment for something her cardiologist said was minor. His jaw tightens. She won't let me near her doctors. Won't discuss her health. Says I'm being controlling if I ask questions. We stare at each other, recalculating. Dr. Chen, I say slowly. He's not helping her. He's making her worse. Why would she agree to that? Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe he's convinced her the treatments are necessary. I pull out my phone, show him my documentation. Look at the timeline. She deteriorates after every medication dose. And I heard them talking. After the wedding, we agreed. Marcus's face goes pale. After the wedding, she dies. I'm the obvious suspect, the new husband with a massive life insurance payout. I get arrested. And who actually gets the money? Whoever she named in her will. I finish. Her cousin, Alexander, who's been borrowing money from her for years. Who's desperate, in debt. And Marcus pulls up something on his phone. Who recommended Dr. Chen to Vivienne. The pieces lock into place with terrible clarity. We have to tell her. I say. She won't believe it. She's convinced Dr. Chen is the only thing keeping her alive. That I'm jealous of her medical team. She's been gaslighted so completely. Then we need proof she can't deny. For the next 2 weeks, we work in secret. Marcus hires private investigators. I collect medication samples. We document everything. Dr. Chen's visits, the cash payments, Alexander's financial records. The investigators confirm it. Vivienne's supplements contain a compound that mimics heart failure. Administered gradually, it would kill her within months, appearing completely natural given her complex condition. Dr. Chun would sign the death certificate. Alexander would inherit. Marcus would be investigated but ultimately cleared, and would never see a penny of the insurance money due to the prenup's death clause. It's elegant. Horrible. Nearly perfect. We go to the police, I say. With what? Vivienne is a willing patient. Dr. Chun has medical licenses. Without her testimony, it's speculation. Then we make her listen. She's too far gone, Naomi. The cognitive effects, she's not thinking clearly. She'll defend him. I think of my brother. Of the times I tried to question his doctors. Of being told I was overreacting, interfering, not qualified to have an opinion. Of wishing I'd screamed louder. The wedding, I say. It happens at the wedding. Marcus looks at me. What happens? We expose him. Publicly. In front of 300 witnesses. Make it impossible to deny. That's insane. That's the only way she'll believe it. When everyone she knows hears the truth simultaneously. When Dr. Chin can't explain it away privately. It'll destroy the wedding. Humiliate her. It'll save her life. Marcus runs his hands through his hair. He's terrified. So am I. But we're out of options. The wedding day arrives in a cascade of white roses and string quartets. I work the reception, invisible in my uniform, watching. Dr. Chun is here. A guest, respected, trusted. Alexander is here, already drinking champagne, already counting his inheritance. Vivienne is a ghost in designer lace. She can barely stand without help. The makeup artist has worked miracles, but I see what's underneath. She's dying. Soon. Marcus catches my eye across the ballroom. Nods once. The plan is simple. During the toasts, Marcus will call me forward. I'll present the evidence, medication analysis, financial records, everything. We'll expose Dr. Chun and Alexander before they can spin the narrative. It's humiliating. Public. Cruel in its own way. But silence is crueler. The ceremony ends. Guests move to the reception. The toast begin. The best man speaks. The maid of honor. Polite applause, champagne clinking. Then Marcus stands. Before we continue, he says, his voice carrying. There's something that needs to be addressed. Something I learned from someone who saw what I was too close to see. He looks at me. This is it. The moment, everything changes. I'm reaching for my documentation when Vivienne stands. No, she says. Everyone turns. She's shaking. Pale. But her voice is clear. No, Marcus. I know what you're going to say. I've known for 3 weeks. The ballroom holds its breath. I found your investigation files, Vivienne continues. I saw what Naomi discovered. What you both discovered. Dr. Chun is moving toward the exit. Marcus signals security. We prepared for this, and 2 men block the doors. I didn't want to believe it, Vivienne says, tears streaming. Alexander is family. Dr. Chun saved my life, or I thought he did. But then I started skipping doses. Started thinking clearly. Started remembering. She turns to Dr. Chun. You told me I was dying. That only you could manage my condition. That questioning you meant I wanted to get worse. Vivienne, your confusion is a symptom. Dr. Chun starts. I'm not confused anymore. Her voice is steel. I had independent labs test everything you gave me. I have the results. And I've already given them to the police. Sirens wail outside. Not part of our plan. Hers. I also revised my will. Vivienne adds, looking at Alexander. Yesterday. You get nothing. Alexander runs. He doesn't make it past security. Officers enter. Dr. Chun is arrested quietly, professionally. Alexander less quietly. The wedding guests stand frozen in scandal and shock. Marcus moves to Vivienne. She's collapsing, the adrenaline fading. He catches her. You knew? He says. I knew. But I needed to be sure. Needed to be strong enough to face it. She looks past him, to me. Naomi. Come here. Please. I approach slowly. You risked everything, Vivienne says. Your job. Your reputation. For someone who's been nothing but demanding and difficult. You deserve the truth. Walk with us. Both of you. Through this nightmare I've created. The reception doesn't happen. The wedding ends in police statements and medical evacuations, and 300 guests with the story of their lives. But later, much later, after the lawyers and the press and the chaos, I'm in the kitchen, changing out of my uniform, when Marcus finds me. The job offer stands, he says. Vivienne wants you to stay? Patient advocate. Real position. Real salary. I'm not qualified. You're the only qualified person I know. I take the position. Not as a maid. As Vivienne's patient advocate and personal assistant. A role she creates specifically for someone who'll question everything and trust nothing. The first month, I help her rebuild. New doctors, all vetted independently. Actual treatment for her actual condition. Simple beta blockers, exercise, stress management. Within weeks, she's healthier than she's been in a year. I can't believe I let him convince me I was dying, she says one afternoon. We're in the garden. She's planting herbs now. Therapy through dirt and growing things. He was very good at his job. I say, the bad version of it. So was Alexander. My own cousin. She sits back on her heels. How do you trust anyone after that? Carefully. Slowly. With people who've proven themselves. She looks at me. Like you. I'm still learning to trust too. We sit in comfortable silence. Two women rebuilding from different betrayals, finding unexpected friendship in the wreckage. Dr. Chen pleads guilty to attempted murder, fraud, and medical malpractice. He gets 23 years. Alexander gets 15 for conspiracy. The civil suits take longer. Vivienne sues Chen's practice, the medical board that licensed him, Alexander's estate. She wins everything, then donates most of it. I want to start a foundation, she tells me. For medical advocacy. For people who suspect their treatment isn't right, but don't have resources to question it. That's expensive. I have expensive money. Might as well use it for something that matters. The Laurent Foundation for Patient Rights opens 8 months after the wedding that wasn't. We occupy offices in downtown Manhattan. We employ investigators, lawyers, medical consultants. Vivienne funds it. I run it. We help people who are being harmed by those they trust, who notice something wrong but are dismissed as paranoid or uninformed, who need someone to believe them. We've assisted 47 families in our first year, uncovered 6 cases of medical fraud, 3 of abuse disguised as care, 2 of financial exploitation. We ask questions. We investigate. We refuse to accept authority as truth. We save lives by refusing to stay quiet. Marcus and Vivienne never marry. Turns out attempted murder is bad for romance. Vivienne jokes. But there's relief in it too. They were never right for each other. Just 2 people who look good on paper. Marcus remains a friend. He donates to the foundation. He refers cases to us. He's dating a marine biologist now. Someone completely outside his wealth circle. Someone who makes him laugh. You saved us both, he tells me once. Not just from Chun. From each other. We'd have been miserable. You saved yourself. You questioned the insurance policy. After you questioned everything else. I think of my brother often. Marcus, my brother, not the billionaire. The way he trusted his doctors completely. The way I did too, until it was too late. I keep his photo on my desk at the foundation. He smiles at me while I answer calls, investigate cases, ask the questions he needed someone to ask. I couldn't save you. I tell his picture sometimes. But I'm saving the ones I can. It's not enough. It's never enough. But it's something. Vivienne and I have dinner every Sunday. We cook together in her downsized apartment. Still nice, but human-scaled now. She sold the estate, the cars, most of the excess. She keeps what she needs and uses the rest to help. Do you forgive him? I ask one evening. Alexander. No. Maybe someday. But not yet. She chops vegetables with precise cuts. Do you forgive the doctors who missed your brother's appeal? Some days I try. Most days I just use the anger to work harder. She nods. We understand each other. We're both learning that survival isn't the same as healing. That justice doesn't erase pain. That sometimes the best you can do is transform suffering into purpose. We're both learning to trust again. Slowly. The foundation continues to grow. We're in 12 states now. We've handled 234 cases. We've changed hospital protocols, influenced legislation, trained medical staff on recognizing coercion and gaslighting. We've proven that the person in the maid's uniform might see what everyone in tuxedos misses. That credentials don't equal trustworthiness. That questions from the powerless matter as much as answers from the powerful. We've built something that honors every person who died because someone they trusted abused that trust. Every patient dismissed as paranoid. Every family member told they were interfering. We've built something my brother needed. On the anniversary of what would have been Vivienne's wedding day, we host a fundraiser. Not at the Grand Meridian. At a community center. Donors write checks. But the guests of honor are the families we've helped. The survivors. The ones who questioned and were proven right. Vivienne gives a speech. She's radiant now. Healthy, strong, purposeful. I almost died because I trusted someone I shouldn't have. I'm alive because someone I underestimated refused to stay quiet. She looks at me. Naomi saw what I couldn't. Questioned what I wouldn't. Risked what I took for granted. The world tells us that people in certain positions don't matter. That maids and assistants and caregivers are invisible. That their observations don't count. The world is wrong. The applause is thunderous. Later, in the quiet, Vivienne asks, "Do you ever wish you'd just done your job? Stayed invisible? Avoided all this?" I think about that wedding day. The moment Marcus asked me to walk beside him. The choice I made. No, I say. Because staying invisible meant my brother died while I watched. Asking questions meant you lived while everyone watched. That's the difference. I still work directly with clients sometimes. I sit with patients who suspect their treatment is wrong. I listen to family members who notice things. I investigate when instinct says something's off. I teach advocates to trust the voice that says this isn't right, even when authority figures insist it is. Look for isolation, I tell them. Look for control. Look for someone getting worse under someone else's care. Look for explanations that don't quite fit. Look for what people in power don't want you to see. We're not miracle workers. We can't save everyone. Sometimes we arrive too late. Sometimes the evidence isn't enough. Sometimes the system protects the abuser. But sometimes we win. And those wins matter. If this story touched you, if you've ever been dismissed by someone who should have listened, ever questioned authority and been told you were wrong, ever felt invisible in spaces that treated you like furniture, know this: your observations matter. Your questions are valid. Your instincts deserve respect. Your voice counts even when people pretend they can't hear it. The world needs people who notice things, who speak up, who refuse to let titles and credentials silence their conscience. Be that person. Be the one who asks questions when everyone else is quiet. Who believes the powerless over the powerful. Who remembers that uniforms don't determine wisdom. The overlooked ones, the underestimated ones, the ones who clean up other people's messes and see what they leave behind. We know things the powerful don't. And when we're brave enough to speak, we change everything. I keep both photos on my desk now. My brother Marcus and Vivienne from her almost wedding day, pale, dying, saved just in time. They remind me why I do this work. Not because I'm a hero, but because I decided my silence wasn't worth someone else's suffering. That decision saved Vivienne's life. It gave my grief purpose. It proved that the person carrying the tray might be the one who saves the day. The world told me I didn't belong at that wedding, that I should know my place. That maids don't walk beside billionaires through ballrooms full of wealth and power. But Marcus asked me to walk beside him anyway. And together, we walked toward truth instead of tragedy. That moment, when I set down my tray and took his hand, that's when I learned that belonging isn't about permission. It's about being brave enough to stand where you're needed, even when you're not wanted. It's about trusting that your presence matters more than their comfort. It's about remembering that God works through the overlooked, speaks through the silenced, and saves through the servants who refuse to serve evil. I didn't belong at that wedding, but I belonged in that moment. And that made all the difference.